Top five, top five, top five.
So then I'll go back with another video. I'm Strange Swing. He is Nate. Today we're in our top 5 worst horror movies of all time. And these are personal. So we don't watch a lot of horror movies. We watch most of the classics. So I don't know if our list will be based on that or what, but he's going to tell you how they work, our list works.
So he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll do my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, then we'll trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means that if we both have the same film on our list, which is probably unlikely for this one,
Probably so.
we'll yell out Zemeckis, and then we'll save the conversation for the person who has it higher on their list.
So my number 5 is going to be Sorority Babes in the Slime Ballarama. Now, one thing that I love, like, don't get me wrong, I love Citizen Kane, but I also need that balance of, like, films like Porky's in my life. And this is one of those type of movies, you know, you got these nerds, they can go and watch the sorority girls do their, what's the word when you got to get into the sorority?
Like pledging?
Yeah, they're
like
pledging.
Hazing.
Yeah, pledging, hazing. And it's the 80s. They're nude, they're naked. So they're sneaking in to see that. And they get caught. And then the girls, they're like, all right, you got to help us with our pledge. They sneak into this bowling alley. Well, break in. I guess that's a better word. There's still this, like, trophy or whatever. The trophy has a genie or something in it. And it makes their dreams come true. And obviously, like any other genie movie, they turn bad at the end. It's not what you wish for, basically. And that's when the horror movie comes in. This little goblin comes out the thing, the genie. And it's god-awful. It's not even, like, Porky's funny. It's not even scary when it's supposed to be scary. The animatronics for the genie goblin, whatever the fuck it is that came out the thing, is god-fucking-awful. And I was expecting a bad movie, like, not a well-made movie. But even Porky's, it's not a well-made movie, but it's funny, at least. And it has somewhat of a story. This has a story. I could see it being remade and being kind of funny, but this, not good at all. That's what I'm going to do. When this YouTube thing pops off, we'll get one of those GoFundMes, and I'm going to remake this movie. Even my assistant director.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
But this movie's terrible. My number 4 is Strangers 2, Pray at Night. I've walked out of 2 movies in my life, and they're both horror movies. So one was a French film named Raw, and that was just so nasty. Like, I felt sick, and I was about to throw up, so I just left. But this movie was
so fucking terrible.
Number 5 for me is the 2016 version of Cabin Fever.
They made another one?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a remake. It's not even a sequel. It is convoluted. The acting is not good. And there's just way too much going on here. And it's like, I hate that I've seen it.
That shit probably ain't got Sean Hunter or nothing.
It doesn't.
Whack.
Number 3 for me is Piranha 3 Double D. Piranha 3D it's terrible, but it knows it's terrible, so it's actually making fun of all these tropes of bad horror movies. Piranha 3 Double D is nothing but a cash grab on teen boys. Like, it's just boobs and carnage, and it's not self-aware. It doesn't make fun of any of those tropes, and it's just like trashy just to be trashy.
Yeah. My number 3 is going to be Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, the first one's a really fun slasher movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun slasher movie. This one, on the other hand, is that chick's sister from the first one. She gets out to the insane asylum. She's like, hey, I'm ready to have friends again. Let's go to the beach. And she's freaking out, having these nightmares about the killer. But this time, he's a fucking rock star. And he comes, I guess, Freddy Krueger came out between the two of these, and he comes out of the dreams and starts killing the teenagers. And
What a ripoff.
yeah, it's not good. Like, you're getting killed by a rock star. He's trying to make jokes. He's not funny. Like, it's a terrible movie. And from the first one, that was kind of good. It was like, why don't you just stick that same formula, you know? But this one is trash. My next one, number 2, is going to be Jason Goes to Hell. Friday the 13th movie. And this movie is good for the first 20 seconds. not 20 seconds, but I guess like 10 minutes. Because it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about all these kids getting killed at Camp Crystal Lake. All the survivors are like doing a hockey mask, doing a hockey mask, doing a hockey mask. So this chick with a Mets hat, she gets butt-ass naked, takes a shower. Jason's like, all right, naked girl, I gotta come kill this bitch. Because if you've seen the other movies, she's naked and a girl, I gotta kill her. So he goes to kill her, but she's like a CSI agent or FBI agent. She's like trained. That's the point. She leads Jason and to this field. They put the lights on, and he's surrounded by ops, and they blow him up. Literally, blow him up. Problem solved, right? Now, apparently, this motherfucker, his soul can just be transformed into other people's bodies, and then they start eating them to get more Jason-like, and his soul just goes between all three of these different people.
What?
It's terrible, it's convoluted, it's stupid, it makes no fucking sense. And the only part that did make any sense was the beginning, because it's like, yeah, we should probably check this out and see if we can kill it. And the chick, she's really super hot. And I know that's like probably wrong to say, but I'm not usually into white women, but she's like a 10. And I usually don't say that about white women, so it's kind of impressive. But this movie sucks.
Like a prostitute. Oh, man.
Wow. So number 3 for me is Fear.com.
I don't even know what that is. I can just tell that's a bad movie.
Yep. Okay, it came out in like 2002. So like the internet's like really just getting the ball. Like, we're just transitioning out of dial-up, right? But there's 2 reasons that really make me hate it. One is that it's not fear, .com. They literally spelled dot out, and it's all one word. So that's stupid, and I don't care if it was 2002. That's the lamest name ever.
Facts.
And it's basically The Ring, except it's a website instead of a VHS tape. So, unoriginal, terrible plot, stupid name.
So, I got a question.
What's the question?
So, on my list, I have Slumber, Party Massacre 2, and Sorority Babe at Slumber, whatever the title was.
Yeah, you're a pig, and you watch any movie with naked women in it.
That wasn't my fucking question. My question is, I watched these movies because I knew they was going to be kind of bad. And that's like the charm in some of these like 70s and 80s movies.
Sure.
So I knew I was watching bad movies. But why in the fuck did you watch that movie?
Oh, because I was in high school, and like I was with a group of friends, and that's the movie that got picked.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if you watched this last week on your couch.
Also, to be clear, I was not in high school in 2002. It was further down the line. But
could afford me.
Yeah, you're a prick. Number 2 for me, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it has someone that you're familiar with in it. And number 2 for me is See No Evil.
With Kane? Is this the first one or the sequel?
I haven't seen the sequel. I've only seen the first one.
I
didn't even know there was a sequel.
Yeah, there's a sequel. I'll see a little bit of this. I was too scared to finish it. That's a motherfucker taking people's eyeballs out and shit. I guess that's the name of the title, but go ahead. I'm glad this is on your list.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it has Kane in it. Not a great... I mean, he's like an imposing dude.
Yeah.
And that's like the whole point of him. He's got a hook for a hand. How he got the hook on his hand is like convoluted and silly. The fact that all of this stuff is a plot by his mother to get revenge on a police officer that shot him in the head like years ago. Yeah. It's bad, man.
What else?
I'm glad that's on your list. I'm very happy. My number 1 is also a horror franchise, and it is Leprechaun. I don't know the number, but this cocksucker's in space. This movie. So these Leprechaun movies, I kind of like them.
Aren't they in the hood for one of them?
They're in the hood for 2 of them. They got like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube in it. Ice-T, I believe.
Nice.
Ice-T. And so I kind of like these because of that. Like, it's very self-aware. He knows he's in the hood. It's a hood comedy. You put him in Las Vegas, you get a sleazy Las Vegas movie. You put him with Jennifer Aniston in a house in the middle of nowhere, you get that style of movie. So, like, you can switch it up and make fun of that genre and make jokes. And that's why I like these movies. They're not good movies, but they have a little bit of charm to them that makes them funny. This, on the other hand, it tries to be, like, alien, like, sci-fi horror, and then, like, CGI is fucking terrible. The plot doesn't make any fucking sense. They try to kill this leprechaun, but end up. There's a fucking cyborg who double crosses them that's on the team. So it's kind of like a three-way of. It's a shit show. I said Jason Goes to Hell was convoluted. This is even more convoluted. Mm-hmm. It's a shit show. It makes no sense. It had no reason to be made. It didn't even make fun of the space genre or sci-fi movies in general, which that's kind of the point of these movies, to make a comedy in that setting. And it didn't even do that. It's not even scary. I get scared at everything. This film is stupid, and it was one I will never watch again for sure.
Fair enough. So number one on my list is number one for a couple of reasons, but one is that I had Piranha 3 Double D on mine, and even See No Evil. Like, it's kind of it's a sort of intentionally campy, and obviously some of the stuff you got on there is definitely in the camp. But this one of the reasons this is my number one is because it was not intended to be campy. It was 100% supposed to be a serious movie, not unlike Strangers 2. But also, I don't know if it still does or not. At one point in time, this movie had a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I saw it in theaters because I wanted to go on a date. And it's One Missed Call. And it is terrible. It's about a demon who died before cell phones existed, who somehow finds its way to insert itself into cell phones. And then if you get the call, you're the next victim.
So it's another Ring remake, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It's there's just this 2000s trend of taking the Ring and just twisting the plot a little bit and applying it to different forms of technology.
Well, not even technology, because somebody put in Jessica Alba's eyes at one point, I believe.
Yeah, fair. Was that Red Eye?
Nothing. I don't know.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, it's really bad. But then there's also I don't know, somehow the plot is about this mom that burned to death inside of a air conditioning shaft trying to save a baby. It's mixed up, man. And it is totally nothing but jump scares. There's nothing actually scary about it. The movie has nothing to say. There is no heart to it at all. And that girl dumped me. So F this movie.
During the movie or after the movie?
We went on one more date after that.
You should have dumped her at making you watch this movie.
Well,
but you're probably thinking with the wrong head.
Her parents were rich, and I wasn't from the right town. So,
do you at least get a little coochie out of it?
Oh, we made it out a couple times.
Well, that's not coochie, but
well, I mean, when you're in high school, it's good enough.
Maybe when you was in high school. When you went into high school in 2002, but tell me some of your.
It was 2004. My
What?
freshman year was 2004. Yeah.
Oh shit! Tell me what you think are some of the worst horror movies of all time. Down in the comment section below. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.